Hello all, welcome to NetSet OS. Today in this video we will discuss about time complexity. If you haven't accessed my last video which was on big O, omega and big theta, I'll recommend you to go through it for better understanding of this concept time complexity. I'll give the video link in the description below. So let's start. So in the last video, we had a graph where on x-axis we had n for the size of input, whereas on the y-axis we had time. And the function of n will be quite like this, which was totally depending on time. If function of n increases, time also increases. If function of n decreases, time also decreases. That means f of n is somewhere directly proportional to time. So we need to discuss about this fn, which gives us the idea of proportionate time. So in this video, we will discuss about time complexity with various algorithms. So be with me for 10 minutes and you will be able to know this topic very nicely. So we will discuss about algorithm. In the last video, we discussed about algorithm, which is step by step solving the problem. So for solving a program, which is for a problem, we can solve it by two ways. First is iterative or the other way is recursive. These two are the ways to solve the problem. So we can't say that iterative is better in any way or recursion is better in any way. They both solve the problem. But if we talk about analysis, here in iterative, we make use of for loop, while loop, do while loop for solving the problem. Whereas recursion is for calling the function, where a function will call the other function. Let's come up with example. I have a function over here where I will introduce a for loop which is initiating, giving a condition and incrementation, and then statement on which this for loop will work. And this is working iteratively because it depends on the number of loops getting executed, or we can say number of times, right? But coming to recursive, there will be a function. With that we will have a base condition. Let's say if n is equal to 0, return something, and then giving the function which calls the function itself. So here function is calling itself. So in iterative we make use of loop so that our statement can be executed, whereas in recursive function is calling itself. That we will understand with the help of example. Let's take the factorial example, where factorial, if you remember, we can solve in both ways, iterative and recursive. So for iterative, I took fact is equal to 1 and I put a loop over here where it is starting from n and going up to 0 and decrementing by 1. When I is equal to n, let's say n is equal to 5. So for 5 fact we have 1. So here this for loop will go on for 1 into 5, then it will go to the loop I is decrementing by 1, so 1 into 4, then decrementing by 1 into 3, hence 1 into 2, 1 into 1. That means it is going up to n times, and here the iterative one is using for loop. Whereas factorial through recursion, we took num over here. Let's say num is equal to 5. In recursion, we used to give base condition, then the function where it will call itself here. Let's understand this. Num is 5. Num minus 1 will be fact of 4. Then it will go for 4. So for 4, it will go to else condition as num is not equal to 0. 4 into fact of 3. Similarly, it will call itself where the num will change to 3. So 3 into fact 3 minus 1 is 2. I'll write over here. Now instead of this 3, we will have in num 2 as it is calling the same function. So here 2 into fact 2 minus 1 will be 1. Then again we got 1. So 1, it will call itself. So for 1, num is equal to 0. No, so it will go to else part. And here we will have 1 into fact 0. Now for 0, now this time when it will go to 0, it will go to if condition because num this time is 0 and here it will return 1. Now 1 into 1 is 1. 2 into 1 is 2. So the process of recursion is going on, which is function calling itself. Now here 3 2s are 6. Then again 6 into 4, 24 and 24 into 5 will be 120. So this is how recursive and iterative works. This I told you for one algorithm, which is factorial. Now we will discuss the different type of algorithms. And with respect to algorithms, we will come out with time complexity. We will analyze it. So let's see. For the first, the base program. Now in this, we'll be analyzing the iterative algorithm. How we can calculate the time complexity for it. So here we can see there is a single for loop which is going from 1 to n. Right? That means I is iterating from 1 to n. For 1, it will print netsetOS. Then when it will iterate again, I will be 2. So it will again print netsetOS. I will be 3 as we are incrementing this by 1. So this time it will be 3 and such that it will print netsetOS n times as we have given the condition up till n times. So as this loop is running for n times, the big O will be n. That is, time complexity will be order of n. For other example, where we have I is equal to 1, I plus plus is always I is equal to I plus 1. Now let's say we have n is equal to 9. That means for I is equal to 1, it will print netsetOS. For 2, it will print netsetOS. Now for 3, because 9 under root will be 3. So that means it is running for 3 times. This loop is running for 3 times when we have given n is equal to 9. That means our loop will work for root n times. So we can say time complexity for this program will be order of root n. क्योंकि n जब 9 टाइम्स था तो हमारा लूप 3 टाइम्स चला. That means it is running for root n times. That's why we will have order of root n. Let's complicate this. Here we have 2 loops. For each loop, we want to print this netsetOS. So for this, when I is equal to 1, j will iterate 1 to n times. We can say j will iterate n times. Then when I is equal to 2, again j will iterate from 1 to n. That is, it will also iterate n times. So that means when I is equal to 1, it will iterate n times. For I is equal to 2, then n times, then 3, n times. So we can say as I is increasing up till n, j will also iterate n times. That means we will get this NetSet OS printed n cross n times. You all agree? So it is printing this NetSet OS for the n cross n times. So we can say time complexity for this program will be order of n square, as this loop is running for n square times. One more thing, if algorithm is neither iterative nor recursive, then it means running time will be constant value, as there is no dependency of running time on input size. So we will have the time complexity as order of 1, right? So till here we have got here order of n square. If we analyze it, this I was working independently, this j was working independently. Now what if I is dependent on j? In that case, what will be the time complexity? Let's analyze it. Let's make some space for it so that we can analyze better. Now we can see I is dependent on j. Oh, here as it is in Python, it will be I plus 1. Don't go on the syntax of the program. It's simply to see the running, how loop is running for each time. So here we will see for I is equal to 1, j is running for 1 time. And as k is independent, it will run for 1000 times. Now for I is equal to 2, I will become here 3. So it will run for 1 time, then 2 times. So we can say j is running for 2 times. And this time k will run 2 into 1000 times. How? First, when j is equal to 1, k will run for 1000 times. When j is equal to 2, k will run for 1000 times. So 2 into 1000 will be 2000 times. Now when I is equal to 3, j will run for 1, 2 and 3. So 3 times, and k will run for 1000, 2000 and third time 1000. So I can write 3 into 1000, right? Now similarly for I is equal to 4, j is depending on I. So here 4 times, and k is independent. So here 4 into 1000. Let's go up till n. When I is equal to n, I can say j is running for n times. As I is n, so j will also run for n times, and k will run n cross 1000 times. I hope till here you understood very well. Now let's delete this and try to understand how many times this NetSet OS will get printed. So for this, when I is equal to 1, it was printed for 1000 times. When I is equal to 2, let's do plus 2 into 1000 times. When I is equal to 3, 3 into 1000, 4 into 1000, and this is up till n cross 1000. So what I'll do, I'll take 1000 in common, 1 plus 2 plus 3 up till n. So here I can write the formula n into n plus 1 upon 2, and here we will have 1000. So here I got n square, as if we see n square plus n by 2. As I told you in the last video, we always take the leading value of n. Here we have The first value is n square. So for this n square, our time complexity will be order of n square. When one loop is dependent on another loop, we usually make mistakes. So next time when you get this kind of problem, just analyze it first by pen or pencil, then slowly these kind of calculation will go in your mind. So this was so easy. Now let's begin with the next kind of problem where I is starting from 1 up till n times, and here we have 2 into I. That means if we are starting for 1, then 2 into 1 will be 2, then 2 into 2, 4, then 2 into 4 will be 8, then 2 into 8 will be 16. Almost 2 to the power. So how can we analyze this kind of problem? Let's analyze it. Let's shift a little bit so that we can analyze it better. Now let's see for I is equal to 1. When I is equal to 1, the resulting output will be printed 2 into 1. That means 2 times. Right? When I is equal to 2, it will take this 2 and 2 into 2 4 times. When I is equal to 3, it will take this 4 as it is working on the last iteration. So 4 into 2 will be 8 times. Then I is equal to 4. Here we got 8. 2 into 8 will be 16 times. Now if we analyze it better, here it is iterating for 2 to the power 1. This is for 2 to the power 2. This is for 2 to the power 3. Then this is for 2 to the power 4. And if I is equal to m, it will have 2 to the power m. So we can say 2 to the power m is equal to n, as it is the last number, and with 2 to the power m I can achieve this n till its last iteration. Now for calculating this m, it will be log n to the base 2. So we can say whenever we have 2 into I, it will run for log n base 2. Let's say if I have 3 into I, 3 times. The loop will run for 3 times. Then in that case, we will have log n to the base 3. So if I calculate time complexity, this time it will be log n to the base 2. As I is incrementing for 2 times, the time complexity will be log n base 2. If it is incrementing by 3 times, it will be log n base 3. Let's make it more complex. Here we have 3 loops for which I is running for n times and j is depending on I. So for this time, I need to check each value for the time complexity. So let's see it. Now for this calculation, we will check for each time. Now here, when I is running for 1 time, j will run for the 1 time because j should run up till I square. 1 square will be 1 and k will run for the n by 2 times. Let's write it times also. Now when I is equal to 2, j will run for the 2 square times. That means 4 times. And k will run for n by 2 for 4 times, as this loop is within j. Now for I is equal to 3, j will run for I square, that means 9 times, and k will run n by 2 into 9 times. So if I is equal to n, if I is running for n times, j will run for n square times, right? And k will run n square by n by 2 times. Now for calculating how many times this NetSet OS will be printed. Let's see. I'll make here space. For when I is equal to 1, NetSet OS was printed for n by 2 into 1 time. When I is equal to 2, it was printed for 4 times. When it was 3, n by 2 into 9, such that up till n by 2 into n square. Let's take n by 2 common, as it is common in the equation. Here 1 plus 4 plus 9 up till n square. Now if you remember, 1 square plus 2 square plus 3 square will be n plus 1, 2n plus 1 upon 6. And here we have n by 2. Now if we calculate this, it will be n square, n cube, n to the power 4. There will be obviously other values also, but we need to take the leading value. So here the time complexity will be order of n4 times, right? Now let's see the other problem. Here if we analyze, I is running for n by 2 to n. That means n by 2 to n. So it is running for n by 2 times, the other half. So I can say it is running for n by 2. J is running for 1 to n by 2. So n by 2 times. And K is running for twice the time, as all 3 loops are independent. They are not depending on the other loop. So here we can directly calculate, as we have seen twice the power k. In the last example, whenever we have twice, we can directly write log n to the base 2. Simply we will take here, and here we will have log n to the base 2. So if I calculate n by 2, this, and here log n base 2. So it will be n square log n base 2. The time complexity will be big O of n square log n base 2. As simple as that. Now let's see the next program, where we have I running for n by 2 time. Now this time it is 2 into j. That means we can simply write by saying log n to the base 2. And here also 2k log n to the base 2. And they are not depending. They are in nested. So if I calculate its time complexity, it will be n by 2 log n base 2 to the square, as they are same. So we can make it square, and the time complexity will be big O of n log n to the base 2 square, right? Now for the next, here we have I running for n times, but j this time is depending on I plus j. So we need to check each and every value over here before calculating it. So let's make some space over here so that we can analyze it. Now let's see, for I is equal to 1. Then it will enter to nested loop. For j is equal to 1, it will be printed for 1 time, then 2 time, then 3 time, up till n times, as the last number is n. And we are incrementing this time for the 1 time, as I is equal to 1. We have to add just by plus 1. Now here we have I 2. So first of all, j will be printed for the 1 time. At this moment, I am not telling the printed version, but how it will print. That is, here NetSet OS will be printed for n times. Now for I is equal to 2, here it will be printed for 1 time. So for the next time, j will be 3, then 5, then 7 up till n times. So you can see we are getting just the alternate numbers. So we can say there are half even numbers and half odd numbers. So here we are getting n by 2 times, right? Now when I is equal to 3, let's write over here. When I is equal to 3, we will get this net set OS for the one time. Then for j1 plus 3, as I is 3 right now. So 1 plus 3 will be 4. Then 4 plus 3, 7. 7 plus 3, 10 up till n times. So I can say based on these numbers, net set OS will be printed for the n by 3 times. So if I is equal to m, we will get, as we can see for I is equal to 3, we got n by 3. So here I can say I will get n by m times. So if I is equal to n, it will be at one go. So it will be covering just in one go. So here I can say it will complete in n times. Now, so as to see how many times net set OS will get printed, let's take for one time, it is printed for n times. So I'll write n. For 2 times, it is n by 2. So here I'll write n by 2. For 3 times, n by 3. And going up to n times. Right? So if I take n common, I'll get 1 plus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 3. And here if I took n in common, I can simply write 1 by n. Now so as to calculate this, we can write here log n, right? And here we have n outside. So if I need to calculate time complexity for it, it will be n log n, big O of n log n. So this is how we can calculate time complexity for different kind of algorithms. There will be many more. We will be discussing as per the problems we come across. So this was all about time complexity for iterative algorithm. Now in the next video, we'll be discussing on recursive algorithm, how to take out time complexity for it. So stay tuned and keep watching, and do like, share and subscribe my channel. Thank you.